Good afternoon. Today's topic is how to manage your wandering creative mind. How to manage your wandering creative mind. I'm Nick Demas, for those of you that I haven't yet had the opportunity to connect with, and Tony-winning producer, filmmaker, writer. I work with artists and entrepreneurs using ancient spiritual tools and modern creativity techniques from the inside out. I work with people from the inside out so they can create genius work and simultaneously have joy-filled lives. So one of the ancient techniques and tools that I use is meditation. This is something that's very much in our vernacular these days, meditation. It's a very ancient practice, old practice. And it's one that I use. And I think there's this fallacy. Okay, I know there is a fallacy that in order to meditate, you have to completely get rid of your thoughts, that you're going to sit down and magically, suddenly, all your thoughts are going to be gone. That's just not true and not even possible. So let's get that out of the way right away. What if you can allow that creative brain, because I know so many of you that are watching are genius creatives in your own right, and you've got these brains that don't stop thinking because you're so smart. And that's what the brain is trained to do, quite honestly. It is trained to think, and we need the brain to think, or we wouldn't be able to walk down the street. You get hit by a car if your brain couldn't think, right? Like, just to function in the world, our brain needs to think. So we don't want to get rid of our thoughts, but what we want to do is create some space between them to allow for some breath to flow through, to allow for your, as we say, insight, for your instinctual quiet voice. You know those voices, you got the loud voices and then you got the quiet one, right? And connecting to that quiet, deep inner guidance is where the magic happens. But we need the brain. We don't want to get rid of it, right? We want to allow the mind to wander, to daydream even. Because as creatives, that's when some of the beautiful juice flows, right? Is allowing the mind to wander and to daydream. And in a meditation practice, we allow that to happen. We just then notice that we're thinking. And we say, oh, I was just thinking. And then we bring it back to our anchor, whatever that anchor is, whether that's the breath, whether it's a visualization. We come back to the anchor very gently. We don't say, oh, I've been thinking. No, we just very gently pull ourselves back to the breath. So this provides clarity. What will happen over time is that you realize that, oh, I'm thinking about this, and I'm not actually focused. It brings focus. It brings clarity, and it brings a sense of peace, which for those of you that have anxiety or are in stressful situations, that's one of the reasons why meditation is so very, very good, right? We're not trying to get rid of our thoughts because we have to use our brain in order to function in the world. That we allow them to wander, but what we just notice them. We become the observer of the thought, so we can detach from any emotional attachment to it. So we can create space for the real genius to flow through, right? So how about we do a practice today, yeah? Let's do a short practice. So wherever you are, sit up tall and elongate the spine. Let the head rise and towards the ceiling and anchor yourself into a chair, planting your feet firmly on the floor, and begin by turning down or closing the eyes. Now, if you're driving and you're listening to this, please don't do that. But for everyone else, closing the eyes or simply look downward, just anything that helps you go a little more internal. And then start by bringing awareness to the breath without any agenda to change anything. Simply notice where it is in your body right now. Notice how the sensation feels as the air flows in the nostrils, down the throat, through to the lungs, and how it feels as it expels out the body from the lungs, back up the throat and out the nostrils. Maybe you sense it through the nostrils. Maybe you sense the breath rising and falling at the chest or the belly. Whatever that is and wherever it is, just simply notice that. And already you may notice that your mind has wandered off into thought, and that's perfectly okay. Like I said, wandering thoughts are creative thoughts, right? We don't want to demonize our creative. We just want to simply notice, there's the thought, thinking. And then draw yourself back to the anchor of the breath. And now I want you to bring your attention and focus to your heart area. You may even want to put your hand on your heart. And as you're breathing, and as you're sensing the area around the heart, I want you to call to your mind. Now we focus our thought on something that makes you smile. It can be a person, it can be an animal, a friend, a neighbor, a loved one, anyone and anything that makes you smile. Now really visualize them and hold the space for them and of them. And as you visualize them, just breathe deeply into your heart. Allowing the breath and allowing this visualization at your heart of the one who makes you smile be an anchor. And again, if the mind wanders off as it's trained to do, simply notice, my creative thoughts are going, and draw it back to the heart. Draw it back to that visualization. Draw it back to the breath. And connecting with one more deep inhale. Filling up the lungs, filling up the heart. Exhale completely out. And you can place your hands back on your lap, slowly opening your eyes and coming back to the space. Beautiful. So again, we allow the mind just to wander, to actually daydream. We just notice it as the observer and draw it back to whatever the anchor is. And you may notice already that you feel more calm, more connected. If you have any questions about that or about any of the teachings, please feel free to leave a comment, and I will absolutely get back to you. I will be back later this week with more tools, more tips, more reasons to watch. See you soon. Have a great rest of your day and allow the mind to wander. Take the tool with you. Carry the peace. Namaste.